This is the Gdog podcast. I'm your host, Gavin, aka Gdog. Um, and I don't have any special guests with me, just by myself for the holidays. Sorry I didn't do one last week. Just kind of the holidays had stuff going on, but we're back now. Um, and we're going to be talking about a little bit of college football, college basketball, NFL. Not really NBA as much. What we could talk about. We'll start off with what do we start off? Let's start off with college football playoffs. Playoffs, very interesting. Some surprising games for sure. Oh, sorry, I'm a little sick, so I'm gonna be drinking a lot of water during this. A little bit. Um, Playoffs is interesting. Had some interesting games. It wasn't really able to talk about them. Well, I didn't since I didn't do a podcast last week. I didn't really get to talk about them. Um, so starting off, like I said, very interesting. I guessed Indiana Notre Dame. I guess that right, Notre Dame. Then you had the Georgia. Oh, yeah, let's just Georgia didn't play. Tech. Oh, they did play, but Texas Clemson. I guess Texas not close. Penn State SMU. Penn State killed them. Not close. That it. Pretty. Oh, Ohio State Tennessee not close. Okay. Penn State SMU. SMU's not a. They're not a playoff team, but I don't think there's any team in the playoff that you can arguably say that shouldn't have been in it. Because Alabama beat South Carolina, so all people think South Carolina should be. So they, since Alabama beat them, no. Alabama lost to Michigan. I'm pretty sure everyone in Alabama played that game. So and Michigan is not really great. Shout out to Alex Craven. This is not a great team. So Alabama just showed they should have been. The only team I think could have been in it is Miami, Ole Miss, I guess, but kind of not at the same time. They would have put Bama there. Miami's the only team I think should have been in it. We'll talk about that. But SMU not shouldn't probably been in the playoffs, but based on the record, they got in. Um, Clemson won their conference championship. Played a hard Texas team, got beat. Um, Indiana shouldn't have been in it, but their record got them in. And then Tennessee Ohio State, I thought that game was really close. I thought Ohio State was going to win, and they absolutely killed them. Um, the line, the offensive line was a huge deal in that game. Actually, my dad said a lot about. Um, the line was a big deal, and the defense was a huge part. Huge deal to what decide the winner of that game and decide that it was going to be a blowout. But going on to the games that happened this past week, this Thursday, Wednesday, and Tuesday. Starting off Boise State, Penn State. Penn State's just got the team. They're heavy. They're top heavy, so they got a lot of top good players. Boise State, I mean, you have to have a non-power 4 team in it, and Boise State is the best, but I don't think they should have been that high of a seed, and Penn State proved that. And if you got a player, a Heisman running back, you know they're going to run the ball, so they just blitzed and try to stop the run, and it showed, and they did it perfectly. I'm not going to say perfectly, but they effectively. Going up to, so I'm going to talk about a little bit. Let's get more comfortable. Ohio State, Oregon, interesting game for sure. Um, Ohio State killed the brakes off of Oregon. Oregon was undefeated, had a great offense, a good defense. But Ohio State, and they already beat Ohio State too. I didn't watch much of that game because I was busy, but also it was not close. I could have made time, but I didn't because it wasn't a close game. Just great performance by Ohio State. Killed it. Arizona State and Texas. Arizona State showed that they deserved to be in the playoffs. They lost, but they showed they should be in the playoffs. and Scatterbo, however you say his name, showed that he should have been in the MVP Heisman race. I think I said MVP early, but Heisman race. And it was a close game. Didn't expect it to be close. Expected to be kind of like the Boise State Penn State game, and it was a very close game. Went into one or two overtimes. I'm pretty sure just one overtime. Um, but close game, good game to watch. Notre Dame and Georgia. Georgia didn't have Carson Beck. It showed that it affected, but you can tell they just didn't have the energy in that game. I watched that full game besides the first quarter. Notre Dame had energy. You could tell when Notre Dame had all the momentum, everyone was hyped, cheering, playing good football on their side. Georgia had the momentum. It was just focused and quiet and steadied football, and it just wasn't hyped. The fans weren't up for Georgia. It seemed like it looked like they really got out coached. Kirby Smart did, and Notre Dame played a great game. Riley Leonard played a great game. Transfer from Duke. I knew he was gonna be good. I didn't know he was gonna be that good. He was really good that game. But that's where we're at. All the top seeds lost. Top four seeds, 1 through 4, all lost. And what that shows is that I don't think they need to change the whole playoffs. They need to change the layout of the playoffs. I think the playoffs should be set. If you win your conference out of the top four teams should be guaranteed in. One non-power four should be in. But it should be the top 12 teams in order. So the 1 seed would have probably been like Oregon, the 2 would have been Georgia, 3 would have been Texas, 4 would have been Ohio State. That sound about right? Ohio State would have been 4, 5. Well, I guess technically Boise State. Would Boise State be the 5th? I don't really know the rankings, but just the top 12 in order from 1 to 12, that's the order. No, if you win your playoffs, you win your conference, you get a top 4 seed. Can't have the same team, the same conference up top. Notre Dame, since they're independent, if you're an independent, you can't be a top 4 team. But I think what they should do is just the best 12 teams make it. If you win your conference, you're in, like kind of like a college basketball. College basketball, NC State last year got the playoffs, but they weren't a top seed because they weren't a top team. Okay, so if you win your playoffs, you go in. I mean, if you win the conference championship, you're in the playoffs guaranteed. But besides that, it's just the best 12 teams, and then one non-power 4 team. So the best teams around them. Okay, so Clemson, Boise State, Arizona State would still been in it, but they'd been a lot lower seeds. Because I don't think the teams you can't. The only team you could argue put it in was Miami. None of the other teams you could argue. None of the teams and players you could argue enough to say they should be out because they had the record. They had at least one okay win. Okay, obviously Michigan proved that they was good. Okay, Indiana beat Michigan. Michigan beat Bama. Bama beat Georgia. Georgia beat Texas. Okay. Okay. So just the layout needs to be changed, in my opinion. But besides that, first year doing it, obviously it's not gonna work perfect. So don't be getting upset because it didn't work perfect the first year. Okay. But going on the playoffs, a little bit more. This is gonna be a shorter podcast. Gonna make this one short. I just want to talk about the playoffs, a little bit about the upcoming college basketball, and then a little bit of NFL playoffs. Short, probably be about. I mean, I don't even know how long it's gonna be because I can't see the time. But this could be 15 minutes. It could be 30. It could be 40. It could be 5. It's already past 5, I bet, but it could be. Okay. Um, but going on, we have Ohio State, Texas. I think this game's not Ohio State's not gonna blow them out. But I do think Ohio State will win because Ohio State, the edge they have over this team, over Texas, and I think Ryan Day is a better coach, and they have a lot better defense than Texas. Texas is offensive heavy, in my opinion, and with Ohio State being defensive heavy. It's going to cancel out, and Ohio State's offense is way more explosive. And Ohio State's not even defensive heavy. They're just defense better than offense, in my opinion. And their offense is still really good. And their offense will outdo Texas's defense. They'll win by about 14. I don't think they'll kill them. But coaching, and with Texas being so offensive top heavy, it's insane, in my opinion. And I think it's going to hurt them. Penn State, Notre Dame. Penn State's a top heavy team. They got top guys, but they're not well rounded. Notre Dame doesn't have any top guys, in my opinion. I think they're a more well rounded team, but they still got top guys. Because obviously you gotta have top. You gotta have some top players to be good in college football. In college sports, you have to be. It's not like professional sports. Um, but I think it's going to come down to coaching. And I like Notre Dame's coach better than Penn State's coach. I don't think he succeeds in top games. I think he fumbles or something. Always seems something like that because he is. It's the first time he's been in the playoffs, and he's had some great teams. He's had like Saquon, Trace McSorley, those teams, and there's more there's players, but he's had great teams. He still has never made the playoffs. But Notre Dame, I think, is a better coach, and they're really hot right now after the NIU loss. So, I think they will win. I think it'll be Notre Dame and Ohio State, and Ohio State will beat Notre Dame by about 20 points. My projection right now. I had Georgia and Ohio State go, or Georgia and Oregon, but obviously changed because then two teams are out. But yeah. But I think this need to change the layout of college football, but it makes interesting games. Because if you think there was a 14 playoff this year, your one seed would have been Oregon, your two would have been Georgia, your three would have been Texas, the four would probably have been Penn State, and except for Texas, all of those teams are out. So, well, Penn State's not out, but Penn State I don't think is a great team. But it shows that Notre Dame, Ohio State deserved a chance. Arizona State deserved a chance. They didn't win, but they showed that they deserved a chance. But I'm not taking college football. Been some good bowl games. It's a bowl game right now. Minnesota, Virginia Tech. I was watching a little bit of that. Not a bad game. I watched like 5 minutes of it. So yeah. But North Texas and Texas State was a pretty good game. Came down the wire. Well, kind of, I guess, but it was a pretty good game. Bowl games have been cool. Didn't really talk about those. Don't really want to mention much about those. Um, already mainly talked about Heisman. But we're gonna go on to college football, college basketball. First first true Saturday of college basketball. He's saying college football because I said, well, my 40 Gators are playing against Kentucky. I got tickets to that game. 11 a.m. I'm going to talk about that game a little bit. Just say, um, college basketball this year. I really think this year in basketball there's not a top team, and I think this year in college basketball is top heavy. The past few years you've been like, you either got one or two teams going to win it, or you don't know. But this, I think there's a solid 6 or 7 teams. You're like, one of them teams are going to, and you're like, okay, that's obvious. I mean, that's so broad of a statement is the right word. Broad of a statement to really say that. Okay. But I think you got about 7 teams. I don't know the 7. I mean, 5 to 7 teams. I mean, you got like Duke, Auburn, Tennessee, Florida, Kentucky. Houston's probably up there. Iowa State's probably up there. And there's more. If I didn't say Auburn, there's more. But it's just, I think it's top heavy this year. But I think there's still going to be upsets because once you go down from those teams, every team is so equal, or they got their ups and downs, it makes it equal. Okay? Because a few years it's like UConn's going to win, or you're like, you don't know. Okay? Oh, my parents are back, but that's just how I think. My take. Got some good games. Oklahoma, Bama. Bama's more exposed. Probably going to go with Bama there, but it's going to be a good game to watch. See if Oklahoma, with undefeated, really deserves to be ranked as high as they are, being undefeated. Arkansas, Tennessee gives a true test to Arkansas. Not like they haven't been tested because they have, but gives Tennessee a true test. I'm pretty sure. There's a Big 12 game. I can't. I think it's against Baylor. I can't tell if it's. I don't remember if it's Houston and Baylor or Iowa State and Baylor. It's probably Iowa State and Baylor. It's gonna be a good game. Baylor's well coached. I don't know much about Iowa State though. There's a lot of good games, really good games. But I'm gonna go over to Kentucky and Florida. Favorite team, Florida. Um, Walter Clayton, Will Richard. Hopefully, I get Will Richard and the other guy we had last year mixed up. So not Will Clayton, honestly, but Will Richard and the other guy, Trey Man. I get them two mixed up. So I'm gonna say Will Richard because I'm pretty positive he's the one that's still there. Well, Trey Man, that guy's good. I don't. I'm gonna go with Will Richard because I get him and the other guy we had last year with Walter Clayton to make the three mixed up. But Florida this year looks really good with what's his name, like a Martin. Well, is it Elijah Martin or AJ Martin or something like that? Names I get confused with. He's looks good, and then our bigs, our white bigs, look really good. We're number one in rebounding. Florida's teams looks good. I do think we will lose because we haven't played a top team, and it's away, and it will open our eyes. Then we're going to go play Tennessee at Florida and open our eyes even more because we're going to lose that game too. And then we're going to play Arkansas and be ready, beat them, and now we'll be set to play any team possible. I'm not obviously any games up for grabs, but I do think these two, I do think we'll lose. So if you are watching this and you're a Kentucky fan, do not give me crap because I do think we will lose. I'm going to cheer. I'm going to cheer. I'm going to have a big orange hoodie on, my Florida jersey. I'm going to have a big chain, Florida chain, everything on. I'm going to cheer, but I do think we'll lose. I mean, I just don't think we're prepared enough, and especially away. If we was home, I would say, yeah, we probably would win. And you're like, okay, why do you think Tennessee's going to beat us at Florida? Well, Tennessee's a lot, in my opinion, Tennessee's a lot better than Kentucky. So Kentucky's a good team. I don't think they're great, but they're good. They can possibly win it. But Florida's front court or back court's the guards. Let's say guards. The guards with Elijah Martin, Trey, or Will Richards, the one I want to go with, and Walter Clayton. I don't think anyone can really stop that three. And if we do, we'll see this Saturday. And our bigs, we're number one in rebounding. We're not. We don't have. I don't think we have any true top 7 guys that play a lot. We have that 7-9 dude, but we don't. I don't think we have a single 7-footer that plays consistently at all. Um, but we're just all around tall, so and we're number one in rebounds. So that's pretty impressive. We're up there in offense. I think Ken Palm has us like seventh in offense or something above Kentucky. Defense is a little low, but offense is up there. And we get rebounds. So for Kentucky, great offense. If we can stop them and out rebound them, I think we'll win. But that game, I do think this game will decide. On Kentucky's side, it will show how good of a coach Mark Pope is, and on Florida's side, it will show are we truly an undefeated team? Okay, obviously you look at record, you're like, obviously you're undefeated, but are we a true undefeated team? A team that you should be scared of because we're undefeated. Not just because we're undefeated, we haven't played anybody, but a true undefeated team. What it'll show. Even if we beat Kentucky, which I think there's a good chance we did, but I do think we'll lose. But there's still a good chance we'll win. We'll still lose to Tennessee. Tennessee's really good this year, and it shows they're undefeated as well. I don't think they played a lot of teams. They played better teams than we've played, but Kentucky did lose to Ohio State and Clemson. Ohio State's a solid all-around team. Clemson's actually pretty good, so they're not really bad loss. Ohio State's probably a loss, but Clemson's not. But go Gators. Probably gonna lose, but still, go Gators. And I'll be watching every second of that game. And then wrap it up right here. We got NFL playoffs. Just a little hint, a little here and there about this. 3 minutes of the topic. Probably at 25 minutes right now. I don't really know. 20. Hopefully at least 20 minutes. And then we'll talk about a little bit about the podcast overall. NFL playoffs interesting. NFC is still very up for grabs between the Vikings and Lions, which upsets me about fantasy football because I'm in the championship and Saquon, Devontae Smith, and CeeDee Lamb are sitting out, and then the Joker's just out for the season. Sucks. But anyways, NFC's up for grabs. I honestly think this year in the NFL, there are a lot of teams that can win it. NFL or NFC. My favorite looking teams right now are probably the Lions. They got injuries, but still Lions. Lions, Eagles. I don't think Vikings. I don't think Sam Darnold can do it. He's a Pro Bowl. Love the guy. One of my favorite college football quarterbacks of all time, but I just don't think he can succeed further than what he's done. Maybe one or two games, but I don't think he won that. AFC is very up for grabs, in my opinion. But okay, actually, it's kind of weird. AFC, there's a lot of teams I think can do it, but I think there's only three or four true teams that can do it, and it's Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, Texans. One of the four teams going to go to Super Bowl. Don't know which one. I say Chiefs because Patrick Mahomes doesn't lose. Glaze, no glaze. But AFC, really anyone I think besides probably the Falcons. Even the Falcons have looked. Anyone can win the NFC. Anyone. I wouldn't be surprised if anyone. Besides any, yeah, I'm not going to be surprised if any of their teams win it. Let's spit that out. But AFC is going to come down to four teams, and any of those four teams can win it. My top two are probably the Bills and Chiefs. I mean, that's everyone's top two in the AFC right now. But them two teams that look the best. But NFL's up for grabs. So, that. But I'm going to probably kind of do these more wide open podcasts. I'm going to start doing more noted podcasts. I'm going to do these wide open. So I know what to talk about, but I don't have the stats and stuff like that. More fun that way because I can talk what I want to talk about, but it kind of sucks because in about 30 minutes after I'm done with this, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this and this and that. It just kind of sucks. But next week, having E-Step and Landon E-Step and Dalton Maynard on the podcast. Don't know what we're talking about, but it's going to be a fun one. Also, two new people on the podcast is always fun. Last podcast with Gabe and Zach. If you want to learn about sports, don't watch it. But if you want to have a laugh, you can go watch it. I didn't know I was going to have that podcast, so I ended that one early. And I hope this one's at least 25 minutes. I hope it doesn't feel like it, but that one did feel like it, and it wasn't. So maybe hopefully it's reversed. We're getting them two on it. That's supposed to be come on. Dalton and Issa supposed to be on it this week, but this is the Florida game. I didn't want to rush them out. The time I had to leave before 11 a.m. game. So, yeah, that's about it. Go Gators this Saturday. Keep watching the college football playoffs because it's very interesting. First week of college basketball always shows a true test of a lot of teams. Hopefully, Florida's not the team that gets a true test. Hopefully, it's Kentucky that does. And then NFL, watch those games from the first whistle to the last whistle because they could decide on seeding for anyone. And watch injuries because injuries are going to affect this a lot. Cause there's a lot of injuries that could affect how the playoffs decide. Look at the lines right now; they're still good, but that's all I got. One more time, go Gators. And that's it for the Gdog podcast. Out.